Welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Texting. I am joined by Glenn, Bed-Stuy Pogue, Chelsea Pinky, and me. I'm hitting my jewel.
Sade better-in-law.
Ladies, what is going on? We're very busy. We're very booked and busy. Yes. How is everyone?
You know, doing all right. I'm coming off of a week-long bender because school ended.
Oh, I'm like, damn.
I feel like you're always on a bender.
What?
No, I feel like you've said that before. Like 2 weeks ago, you said that.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it was a weekend. It was a weekend bender, maybe.
Yeah, anyways, I'm like, aren't I the one that you say doesn't go out the house? How am I always on a bender?
You don't have to leave to do that, by the way.
You can invite people over on your new patio.
That is true. Now that I've redone my patio, I feel like I don't want anybody to come over to my house. Not really that.
That's a lie.
I'm not keen on entertaining. I'm like, would somebody like to entertain for me? Would somebody like to wash those dishes for me? Make the cocktails for me? That's kind of how I feel. But
okay,
anyway, anybody have on Reddit
What's
replies?
your Reddit reply?
I'll
kick it off. Why not? I wrote it down on this little piece of paper here. I'm gonna reply to my family. I had a very family-oriented weekend. It was very nice, and you know, it's one of those things where I think it's important to like spend time with your loved ones and like expound on those relationships. I'm speaking specifically to one relationship, but it's funny because me and my mom always have these debates where I'm like, I don't think you just need to like talk to someone because you're related to them, but if the seeds warrant the watering, then you should definitely go out of your way to do it. That's how I'll put it. So I watered some seeds and it was very nice. Nothing like a beautiful Black family unit. We love to see it.
Yes.
So my red's a little complicated. I wrote condoms, everyone's pregnant. A lot of people around me are getting pregnant, but they're like married or in serious relationships. And I'm just like, wow, it scares me very much. I also hate condoms. Like, I hate them so much.
I just told this dumbass girl that she needs to start using condoms because...
Who said I don't?
I thought you told us. Oh, no. You thought you did pull and pray.
Correct.
You can pull and pray.
You're the biggest proponent of pull and pray. You've been telling listeners for up to 3 years now to pull and pray. That is the shit that you promote.
Do as I say, not as I do. But I guess I say it.
You say it and you do it.
Don't do that, y'all. It's a bad idea. But it's just like, what the fuck, man? They suck. They suck so bad. But like, you also know I'm anti-birth control. So it's like, what's a girl to do?
I don't know, girl. I don't know.
So that's why I'm just leaving it all on red. Like, ugh, so complicated. Like, can someone make a really like a re-lubricating condom or something? Like it re-ups or something?
Get
like,
some lube.
Yes, you absolutely can do that. But like, it's like a process in of itself. Like, what if you're in a situation and it's just not there?
True.
Like, my body naturally produces it, but then you put that barrier with that condom, it makes it complicated. Yes, this is true. You can do that.
Spit on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ew, that was so weird thinking about you.
I didn't think about her. I just thought about the song.
So yeah, that's my spiel. Pretty. Yeah. I live a hard life. You couldn't tell.
I'm not playing these games with you, Sade. Just know that.
All right, Glenn, don't talk about me because you don't use them either.
I don't.
But what? Oh my gosh, this is not a safe sex
have an
program.
IUD, and up until recently, I was fucking the same person. So,
were they only fucking you?
To my knowledge.
Because the way how diseases spread.
Correct.
Okay.
Glenn
No,
literally
that is
said,
a concern.
if you get pregnant, I'm gonna laugh at you and call you a dumb bitch.
That's fucking just because you know better. And you know that's something that you don't want right now. And you just out here knowing that you don't want that and carrying on the way you're carrying on.
I'm not
But
carrying
we all do
on like anything.
Listeners, if you're
all
young,
run
it's
the
not
risk.
just about babies. There are actually things you can't give back, so don't listen to them.
This is very true.
She's
This is
not
very true.
wrong.
Do
Like,
not listen
babies
to me.
would be the least of my concern in New York City.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
We have places for that. Okay.
Glenn, what about you?
So I gotta think of a reply, but my on read, y'all, and I feel like this is gonna be a little controversial. That song, that Essence song, I don't know if I can handle it anymore.
What?
You don't need no
by
other
Wizkid.
body.
That's interesting. I know the girl that manages that girl. What's her name? Tim's.
That's a girl.
Thames. Is that her?
Yeah.
No, it's Wizkid,
The Nigerian?
I thought.
Wizkid,
Yeah.
and a person singing is
It's a girl.
Thames.
Thames. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yep.
Got it.
Oh, I
Nigerian
didn't know
girl.
that.
Mhm.
I think I actually really enjoy the song, and I'm a big proponent of like having a song of the summer. But every time I go to a party, it gets played, and I feel like I'm at the same party. It just feels like I'm having deja vu. Like everybody responds to the song the same way every time, and I guess that's what a song of the summer will do.
Right.
But it just starts to feel. This is more of a commentary of me feeling like I'm just at the same party all the time. Like outside is the same party all the time.
That I will say I'm starting to agree with you on, and I was like, wow, I can't do this.
It's the same party. The same party. So maybe let me take that away from Young Thames. I'm just leaving on red the same party, but it really is like the same soundtrack. The music, the songs seem to go in the same order every time. It's like the same party.
That's
all
annoying.
the time. I feel like I'm like it's like Groundhog Day. It's the same party.
I was at this rooftop thing and I was like, wow, I am too old for this. Like, I need to find a space where I can like be a little crazy in a little while, but like not around 21-year-olds. Like
the layout, you guys should come on Saturday. I'm going.
That's the same
I'm getting
party.
a whole crew. Yeah, but like, so this Saturday, the layout is happening and so is Everyday People. And I opted for layout because like Everyday People is like, it's too crowded. It's like sweaty people trying to dance on me. It's like, I'm over that, you know?
I do love the layout. I just saw that they are on some New York Times list of Black history in action or some shit. Like,
it's so fun.
It is fun. I mean, you go there, you see everybody that you know.
Right. And if you don't want to say
it's a bit of an older crowd. Like a crowd of our generation.
It is
a bit even older. You can see some aunties there too.
Yeah. I can't wait for Soul
Summit
to come back in the park. That's my vibe, my Fort Greene Park vibe. I
think you have to like diversify your outings. I think that's what it is.
Glenn just hates it every time she goes outside.
I really don't like it.
But
yeah, you know what?
if you do a mix of like, on occasion, maybe you go to one of those like cliche-ish parties, like you do that once a month. And then you also like go to a nice dinner.
Frequent.
You do things like the layout. You do things like bowling. You know, you just like
bowling.
I know I wanted some activity.
The activity, like it would maybe not make it so
redundant.
Groundhog Day-esque.
Yeah, you don't only go to Building Black Bed-Stuy. Switch it up.
I don't really go there.
I thought you went the other day.
I went for the first time.
Oh.
It was nice. It was definitely nice, but it was,
was
there's that
Black
point.
Bed-Stuy? I thought that was it.
That was something else that I was at yesterday, but there was a Building Black Bed-Stuy a couple weeks ago. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Brooklyn is having a summer.
What do you?
I mean, people are
everybody
out,
that likes it, that's enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely.
They couldn't wait for the vaccine. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I don't really have a reply. If not, Love Island Australia, which I almost finished in its entirety. And you know, this program has like 35 episodes in a season.
And
That's
you
light.
finished it.
That's light because the UK one is like
It's like 50.
50s.
I know.
That's
I'm like,
too
shit, I'm
long.
almost done. I can't
How
believe
long
I'm
are the
almost done.
episodes?
An hour.
Hour.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
That's over a day.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did this weekend instead of going outside and dancing to Thames.
Oh my God.
For the 69th time. You don't need no other body. All right.
You don't need no other song.
I'm dead. Miss Pinky.
So this weekend, I'm replying to my girl Raisa. Shout out to her. We went to Antigua. Is it Antigua or Antigua?
I think Antigua.
Me
I've
too.
heard
but some people were
Antigua.
saying Antigua, and I was like, that's not
I
what
don't
it's
think that's
called.
correct.
But people also say plantains, and it makes me so uncomfortable. It's plantain.
Correct.
Anyways, but yeah, it was great. I was a little, I get anxious about things, and I was anxious because there were people I didn't know. But it was really fun. It was a great group, good vibes, no drums, lots of fun things. And then I'm leaving on red. No, I actually had it. I guess I can leave that on red. When people post from a bachelorette shit that should not be posted, or people post like,
No.
yeah, I don't like that. It's like, let's just enjoy each other. Like, we're having fun. So
That's a no.
yeah, I'll leave that on red because I've definitely seen it from other people's bachelorettes. I'm like, why is this video on Instagram? This is weird.
I seen some stuff.
I've
was
seen
like,
all kind of things.
Yeah, I'm like, this should have been in not even close friends. This should have just
It's
been in
not-
their album.
I've seen things on close friends of people that I do not know. Like, I'm sure I'm in that person's close friends.
I was
But
gonna say,
then you're
you must know
posting-
them.
Right. But then I'm
Oh.
seeing their friends who I've never seen in my life, titties and all kind of stuff. I'm like,
I think we're talking about the same
whoa.
person.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. I'm like, I just saw this girl titties. I don't even know her name.
Oh Lord.
Because I
That's
definitely saw you on that
wild.
person's close friends too.
I know. I heard. I was
Acting a
like,
fool.
I was on there too. Wow.
Oh yikes.
I mean, it's entertaining, but
Oh yeah, and one of the girls at the bat, she said that she witnessed firsthand you swinging that little man around at your friend's wedding.
Stop.
Which is
I'm
also
dead.
something I'll reply to is like, it's so, I kind of love it, like how everyone's like connected.
I thought I saw a girl in your pictures and stuff. I was like, I feel like she was just at Chardonnay's wedding.
Yeah. she
Yeah.
was. Okay, and that's it for me. No
Swinging
one's
that
hotline
man's
ringing,
wedding.
right?
My hotline's blinging.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, mine is. I have a lot happening on my hotline. This will have to. I think I have to save for like a solo episode because it's
Great.
just too much. But I will say that speaking of Sade's family talk, I bagged her sister's ex-boyfriend.
What? Isn't her sister
Yeah.
like older?
Correct.
Correct.
So is the guy older or is he
Yes,
younger?
he's nearing 40.
Well,
It's
actually, I
the whole
don't mind that.
thing
Mhm.
because I met him in the street like a while ago and I was like, oh, he's so fine. Da, 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 da. And then like realized the connection and Sade has been against it since
Sade,
the
is your
beginning.
sister mad? She tight?
My sister. Actually, I was gonna say my sister doesn't even date men, but that's not true.
No, this is like her ex
But
from
no.
when they were like teenagers.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just like a random kind of happenstance thing. But he's like in their family. Like he was at their family happy hour and shit. And I ran into him yesterday at an event in Bed-Stuy. And I haven't seen him in like 3 years. And he's like, aren't you Glenn? Don't I know you from such and such and such? And I was like, yeah. And I got his number. But now I'm afraid of him because Sade has told me some things that make me think that he is a little bit strange, a little bit odd.
I will
Sade,
say
let that girl live.
Yeah, live your best life. Live your best life.
I don't think I'm gonna text back.
I'm going to transition us to the Black girl doing shit, who I'm obsessed with. If you all didn't know, this week we have Marjon Carlos on the podcast. Marjon is a journalist, editor, and public speaker. Her writing has appeared on Vogue.com, Net-a-Porter, WL, Into the Gloss, to name a few. She's a former senior fashion writer at Vogue.com, where her work explored the intersection of style and culture. And she actually studied gender and African American studies at Brown and Columbia universities, respectively. She is a super in demand public speaker, moderator, panelist, and she hosts her own self-produced advice show via Instagram TV, IGTV, Your Favorite Auntie. She's also currently working on her first book, and she does just a lot of different things. So stay tuned and make sure you follow her and check out everything she's doing, because she honestly gives the girls life. We are so excited. As we mentioned, our Black girl doing shit, Marjon Carlos, is in the building. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. It's really,
it feels like long overdue.
Yeah, totally.
Long overdue.
Totally.
You know, we stan you over here.
Likewise. Likewise.
So listen, I have a little game, but before we jump into the game, we need to talk. Real Housewives of New York. Are we watching? We have our first Black housewife, Miss Ebony K. Williams. Literally in between little work breaks, I was like pressing play, getting my fix, pausing, pressing play.
I literally just pressed pause before we started recording.
See, okay, so the girls are standing. What are your thoughts? Please give us the rundown.
I love her. First of all, I feel like you guys know me, so that would be the first question out the gate. You know,
exactly.
Like, let's ask her what she thinks about this season of Roni. And I love Ebony K. Williams. I love that she has an initial in her name. I think that that's super official. Yes. I love the way that she's like gracefully dragging all the women. They have been in store for a dragging. And I feel like the way that she's handling all the women, it's kind of like Ramona's always needed a Black woman to tell her to sit down, you know, but she never has. And so she acts out. Like all these women have never been told to sit down. So it's really great that like there's this new character doing that. Obviously, I don't want that to be her only thing that she does. And I like that she is like really open and like she's willing to get to know the ladies and not necessarily write them off as like old white women from the Upper East Side, you know, like she's like giggling with them and she's sharing with them and like gracefully telling them, you know, you should use the word help, you know, like that's really racist and stereotypical, and why that is. And I think this has a larger like touch point for relationships with white people generally, which is that a lot of white people don't know Black people, so their empathy is very low. Obviously. And when they have a personal connection with another Black person, they realize, oh, that could be my friend, ... And I now understand that that is wrong. And I think that by her being like, you saying the word help triggers me because my grandmother was a domestic and she's actually, her health is failing. So I actually think that's a really like great moment. I haven't seen the whole episode from last night, and I know she's taking a social media break because of the weight of that episode. So I can't really like give you too much on it, but I do think it was long overdue, and I'm happy they're mixing it up, because I think New York is a city of many New Yorks. You know, you guys are like native New Yorkers, and like we live a life in Brooklyn is so different from the Upper East Side, and no one is more valid than the other. And I just feel like that show has kind of validated only one experience in New York. And it's such a big city. So if you live in Chinatown or if you live in the Bronx, you're going to have a different experience. So that needs to be like captured in the show. So I'm happy about more New York's being captured in the show.
Totally.
Like, broadly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think she's gonna move to Harlem, it seems like.
Oh, for real?
It sounded like, because on some of the first episodes, she was like, I'm not like a downtown girl. I love Harlem. I want to buy in Harlem. So
I
I'm
would
thinking
love
maybe
to
that's where
see
she'll
it.
go.
Because she's in the ex's apartment. Did they buy it together?
I don't know. I
I'm
don't know
not
who the
sure. I'm
ex
unclear.
is.
I don't think she
unclear.
owns it. Yeah.
Okay. For context, listeners, the episode we are all referencing, at least from when I started, they're still at Ramona's. They're still having this breakfast at Tiffany's moment. And I just got to Ramona telling Leah that she's like, I don't want to talk about big dicks and cocks and
I know, literally fucking eye roll.
Ramona's so
sis.
annoying.
Shut up. She's like, whatever happened to class and grace? Girl, you tell me, because do you have any?
None.
None.
You're not
Okay,
a
but-
socialite.
But how do you guys feel though about these like Black housewives, or we saw in Dallas, like the Asian housewife, kind of like is like their role being to tell these white women about race? Is that like strange to you all, or does it feel good? Like, I don't know. I kind of feel weird about it.
I feel you. Because it can be limiting and it can be exhausting. I mean, Tiffany Moon, I'm from Dallas. So that was actually a very triggering season for me to watch. And I couldn't watch all of it because I went to school with like the 16-year-old version of all those women, you know, who were like the subtext of whatever they said was racist and bigot. Like they, you know, they were bigots, but they would couch it in the terms of like, I would never, you know, not tell someone what they were eating. I mean, you can't force someone to eat something. And it's like shrouded in this like moral argument, but it's like, no, you're racist. Like, you know, you guys have, like, the rules don't apply to certain people. And so I definitely hear what you're saying. Like Tiffany Moon is like a really interesting woman, and she didn't have to saddle all of their shit, and probably not going to come back because of that, right? Do you guys think that that's like a larger, if you like zoom out, do you think that that's like a larger example of how women of color and white women interact socially? My social circle now is, I only have a very few white women in my life. And so we don't have conversations.
You don't have to do that.
I don't have to do that.
We talk about this a lot.
What's that?
I said we talk about this a lot. Like some people, Chelsea, I think you use this term like reaching across the aisle. Like some people feel more inclined or more comfortable. Some people are not here for it. They're not trying to do it. I don't know. I think it really varies. Like, unfortunately, on a lot of these franchises that are very white, they are going to have, you know, the token insert ethnicity, race, whatever it may be. And if they weren't speaking up, I would also be like, we're gonna let this slide. And I don't want to put that burden on them, but unfortunately, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're viewing are these like very carefully constructed social groups. So when they're putting in, so anybody that's on the outside of it now feels like they're infiltrating this like bubble with like a dose of reality or something. Like I'm watching Beverly Hills, and it's like the Garcelle, and I can't remember the Asian woman who's on the show now, her name. Crystal, they're playing the exact same role. And it just feels very obvious to me. Like, it's like, we know what you're doing. It just feels so like, yeah. It's like this attempt to like make it like socially relevant. Really. Yeah. But I'm happy to see it on TV, because think about the audiences that are watching it that also live in these very like carefully constructed groups. Yeah.
But I just feel like now it's like, if you don't know by now, it's probably because you don't want to know. So I'm of the mindset that it's no longer my job. I'm tired of it. And I've only seen it backfire, right? So when I do it, then all of a sudden I'm the mean, angry girl who wants to talk about race all the time.
Who's always bringing it up, right?
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, y'all say your stuff, and I just will remove myself from you.
I think it depends. I have a very like diverse group of friends, and like my roommate, he's a white gay man, and we have a lot of very open conversations. and this is going to sound so stupid. He has this thing with garlic powder. He thinks garlic powder is like very like low class.
Pedestrian.
Like, yeah. He's like, I just feel like garlic powder is like, it gives Walmart. And I'm like, you don't season your food like we do. So like, what are you saying? And don't get me wrong, he knows a seasoning. He uses like all the Middle Eastern seasonings and Indian seasonings, but I'm like, you just didn't grow up with the staple salt, pepper, garlic powder.
Right.
So you just don't know any better. And you cannot say that garlic powder is low class. That sounds fucking crazy. And
That's wild.
so simple as like that kind of a comment. I'm like, do you see how that could come off like a little elitist for you to say? Like, I always check him in these little moments, but it's like, it's such a trivial debate, but it's like something that someone could say that they don't realize the implications of those types of statements, where like, you, unfortunately for me, you always got to be on ready to check somebody and be like, you can't say that. And people need to check me sometimes. I say crazy shit.
But y'all also have a trust between each other where it works.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
I'm thinking about, oh my God, very limited, minimal white people in my life. And I'm very, like, I bangs with them, and I've never had to have like conversations with them like that. But
exactly.
I'm not gonna air out your
girl, I don't talk to that person
anymore.
Right, exactly.
Wait,
That's
the
my
guy
point.
who used the black emojis?
Yes, I had friends that were using black friends that were sending black emojis. And then
why were they doing that?
Then when I asked them about it, they were like, I don't get the big deal. Isn't it a compliment that I would want to like present myself as like a black emoji?
I think it's a compliment if they like acknowledge our presence, or like are like, oh my God, what's this thing that you're up to? That's cool. Like that's like cherry picking and weird cosplay. Like, don't
exactly.
Do that.
It was, we called it digital blackface.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It is digital blackface. It's very concerning. Okay. So now this game.
Okay.
You are someone we look to for advice. You're someone that we think is very, very wise and just fabulous. So
Her auntie.
I've been toying around with this game of text-etiquette.
Okay, cute.
Etiquette. Text-etiquette. All right. So I'm going to throw some things out there. I just need you to tell me what your thoughts are. And ladies, please feel free to play. The first is, you already know, red receipts. Oh my God. Is this appropriate? Is this okay?
No. I think that's for your parents. My parents have their red receipts on because they're cute. They're boomers. They're like, you know, they're just starting to learn which emoji to send me. You know, speaking of emojis.
Interesting point.
That's for me. I just think that red receipts, I just think that that's a little invasive because the whole thing, we left you on red. I just don't want to see that. I do think it's a generational thing. I also definitely think that it can make people feel bad. Like, honestly, it kind of makes you sweat a little bit. You're like, you saw that and you did not respond. Like, you know, if you don't have them on and you don't respond, people can be like, maybe she didn't get it. Maybe she's in the subway. Maybe she's you know, all these other things. And I feel like it's a bit more polite. It's kind of like muting someone on Instagram rather than like blocking them or unfollowing them.
Yes.
You can just politely be like, you know, but I think if you have your red receipts on, you're asking for it. And if, you know, if you're older, I would assume that that's fine.
That's such a good point that's like some boomer stuff. When I think about the people on my phone that have their red receipts on, they're kind of like weird. I don't have mine on anymore.
You were just
I don't have mine on anymore.
Not too long ago.
But when I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But the reason why I had them on, which I'm curious about how you would feel about this, Marjon, we had this other guy on our show who said that like, it's interesting. It feels good when you know that somebody has actually read your message. Like there's like a sense of like,
they can
have to reply after.
Yeah, no. Red receipts, bad. Don't take them off.
I mean,
take them off.
Okay.
I think it's something, no shade to Capricorns, but I think it's something like a Capricorn would do.
It's not. I'm a Capricorn. I would never do that.
I would never.
I don't know. It feels like message received, like we're having an active conversation.
Girl,
don't
that
know.
message
I mean,
received when you leave.
Not message-
I
respond.
don't answer nobody's text.
It's no shade to
don't ask me.
Capricorns. Just saying, you guys like really like order and like.
Wait, what's your sign?
I'm an Aries.
It's a fire sign, baby.
Fire. Oh gosh, I'm in flames right now.
Hey, let's get it. All right, my next one. How soon to text after a date? And I'm just going to throw this in here. Does the gentleman, if we're in a hetero situation, need to text first?
Oh my gosh, you know, I threw out a lot of rules in my present relationship. Because I kind of like pursued him, though he would say that I didn't, whatever.
He's a Leo, right?
He's a Leo.
Yes, yes.
Leo.
Mhm.
Are you a Leo?
I am.
Okay, yeah. My best friend's a Leo.
I know the vibes. I know the
have a lot
vibes.
of- a lot of
Aries
Leos.
Leo is like, woo, let's get
That's
it.
my sister.
Yeah,
and her
it's
best friend.
crackling. It's so spicy. I would say that, right, like before I dated my present boyfriend, I would always try to play it cool. I would always try to be the girl who, you know, it didn't really matter, like whatever, but I care. And if I want to put something out there, I will text someone and be like, I had a really good night. And that was really great. You know, it was cool to see you. And it's the funny joke with my boyfriend is that he drove me home, and then he gave because we like knew each other from the neighborhood, and he drove me home, and like he gave me I gave him my number, and then he didn't text me, and I was like, what? And like I guess I should say my boyfriend like owns like one of the bodegas like around my neighborhood. So I like went back into his store, and I was like, I was just talking to him a couple days later.
Like, bro,
He
are
went
you
back
gonna
like,
text?
what's up?
Yeah,
You pressed him.
He didn't like text me back, and so I was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna like say what's up.
Wait, did you do it like a casual, like I just came to pick up a cashew milk?
Yeah, like I came and I was like,
Not a cashew milk.
and then like here's a cashew milk. And his phone like dinged or something, and he looked down at his phone, and I was like, oh, so your phone is working.
Oh.
And he was like, what? Yeah, it's working. And I was like, oh, because you just didn't message me. So I didn't know. And he was like, all right. And then from then on, it was just like,
Consistency.
It's been consistent, and we've been
I love
on.
that.
I don't know. I just feel like we get so trapped in these like ideas and these roles, and like we're not supposed to be forthright with our feelings, and we're supposed to play it cool, especially in New York. And like, I don't have time for that, and I don't think we do either. Like we just survived a pandemic. I think the cool is off. Just take off your cool, and if you think you had a really great time and you want to text them, like text them. And don't think too much into it. That's how I kind of look at it.
Yeah.
I agree.
What do you guys think?
I'm surprised you said you agree, Chelsea. I feel like you're very old-fashioned.
Traditional.
I am. But I do think, so I've been watching someone that I'm ashamed to say I've been watching.
Oh God, you love him. You're a fan.
Oh, Dan Savage.
Kevin.
Oh,
Okay, literally, you know.
Oh, Samuel.
Literally what you just said.
stop saying his name on this
I'm
I'm so
program.
sorry.
I know, that's why I'm like, Kevin.
Okay, literally what you just said, he says.
Oh,
He just
boy.
doesn't
He
say
says
it
that?
like that. Yes, he says women after, like maybe when you're in college, you want to be like hard to get, whatever. Da, da, da.
Mhm.
Oh,
But
he
he's
does
like,
say that.
at a certain point, like unless you want to be alone, you need to
He
put
says
yourself
we're in the
out there.
danger zone.
Yeah,
You're in
he's
the
like,
danger zone.
You're in the
baby.
danger
Danger
zone. You gotta
zone.
get serious.
You need to put yourself out there. And he literally said the exact same thing that Marjon said, except you say it much nicer, and he says it in a nasty, disrespectful way.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think here's the thing. I'm not like that just because I didn't have that sort of confidence when I was dating. So it was kind of like who came
Right.
to me. But I think once you know yourself better and you're like, this is what I want, why not?
Yeah. No, I definitely I knew exactly. I was like, I like this guy a lot. Like we sparked. I think it's
Oh my
real.
God.
But I
you
do
know?
think he should pay for the first date.
Oh, period. I mean, I don't think about anything, honestly. I think that's how it should be. I've dated dudes before who split things, and you know, my boyfriend's like super Brooklyn, super traditional in a lot of ways, and I don't pay for
We love to see it. We
But
love
you, girl.
I went on a date with a
Yeah.
guy, and I drove, and then I drove home,
Mhm.
and I was like waiting for the like, did
Are
you
you
make
in?
it? Did you make? Yeah, I was waiting for that text, and I didn't get that text, and I was a little like, but he had sent me something when we were hanging out. I was like, oh, send me that, and so I hearted it, like, oh, great, I got it, and he was like, I guess this is your way of telling me you're home, and I was like,
Oh my God, what?
Fast.
So
like,
you were supposed to
"What
say
you-
that?
you
No,
were
I find that odd.
no, you're supposed
What
to
if I
check
was
on
dead
me."
on the road?
But then maybe
I'm gonna text you.
But then it made me think, like, maybe he doesn't know how long it takes for me to get home. So maybe
Right,
I
that's
am
true.
supposed to tell him that I'm home.
Oh, that's so weird. But then I would have felt like, should I be texting him that I got home? Like, does he care? Is
Right.
that,
So
like,
I just hearded
He
this
didn't
shit.
ask. He
I
didn't
did like
tell
a
me.
half-ass thing. And then I was like, and then he was like, oh, I really had a good time. And then we did the whole
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Men are very scared and like insecure, and like you have no idea till you're like deep in a relationship with them, and you're like, oh, like wow, that made you upset. Like, okay, like it's no, it's you know, like because I think, and when I've listened to your episodes, Chelsea, you have brought this person up before. We won't speak of his name, and I think that you have like you have a devil's advocate kind of, you know, you look at him and you're kind of like, you know. So I think that's kind of what you're taking with this nugget right here. But I think men are pretty
demonic man.
Shade, you don't even watch though. I'm just saying, like some of the things he says, I'm like, I want to talk to like a single woman, and I have my mom, a single woman who's almost 70.
Mm.
And sometimes I'm like, and my mom's very like strong, independent woman, but she's like, wow, like I have a beautiful life. I have great children that I am proud of, but it would have been nice to have a companion. And she doesn't have one. And so I don't want my friends to experience that feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's happening to Black women specifically.
It is.
So I can understand that point of view. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think we have to let go of a lot of things. I think just because we can find happiness and joy and love wherever. It does not have to be like who you think it is, you know. And I think we have to get away from that. And especially as Black women, because we're fucking amazing. And it's like, if we're looking for a very particular type of thing, it may not look that way, and we might be missing out.
Put a pin in this. I want to come back to this.
Sure.
My last
Yes.
my last one in text-etiquette.
Shade.
I have a couple. I'm always going to do this. Sending nudes. Are you sending them or not? No face, no case. Ass, titties.
I mean, I do send them to my boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
go.
you know, because what do you like when you're single, like when you're talking to somebody, when you're
Whenever.
dating?
Is it different?
When the clock strikes 12, whatever tickles your fancy.
After a couple shots of tequila.
Correct.
I mean, I definitely like if I'm walking past the mirror and I'm like, damn, you know, I definitely send. I send, you just send it, and I'm just like, boom, there you go. And then he has like an app where you can like hide your pics or whatever.
Oh, Signal?
So he like, I don't know what it's called, but he's like, no, they're there. That's fine. You're fine. Don't worry. Like if someone were to steal my phone, they like couldn't find.
Oh my God, I need this
I
app.
love that he's protecting them.
Well,
That is
better.
really thoughtful.
Mhm.
Because I'm convinced I have like a secret Pornhub or something.
Between you posting all of them nudes on that Facebook.
Right. People have,
Wait,
like,
you posted nudes on a Facebook?
Correct, she did.
I had like in college, I had a Facebook that only
Cute.
my ex-boyfriend and I had the password to.
Okay.
And I would post like different little nudes and stuff on it. And like, but I don't care.
Risky business.
Yeah.
Then,
I don't.
so then you probably shut that down.
Yeah. I took everything off and I like closed it. And when we broke up, I'm such a bitch. When we broke up, the first thing I said after like it really happened is I was like, can you just delete all those videos? He was like, fuck you, Shade.
I think that that's extremely reasonable. It's a reasonable ask.
request.
That's fair, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
You're like a public figure. You don't need someone out
shit.
here on a vendetta, you know?
I don't need it even. Speaking of which, somebody else has my video. I want it. I want the video back.
And I think you have every right to your image. Like, come on.
Yes.
Right.
I'm
I
suing
would agree.
anybody if they try some shit. Suing. Like Black China paved the path for all of us.
Black China did revenge porn. This is like
Correct.
a thing
Oh
now.
my gosh,
Yeah,
I forgot
revenge
about
porn.
that.
Yes, ma'am.
That was like that was an iconic moment.
It was amazing. Rob thought he was doing something and committed a crime.
That what a felony.
Trying to be petty and committed a felony.
Oh my gosh. I totally forgot about that. Black China, I have to say, is like demonized in a way that it's just it
Does not deserve.
Here's the
It
thing: the
doesn't
bleaching
deserve.
creams was not okay.
Well,
The
did you
who?
see what
Bad
she-
news.
There's a bleaching cream line that she sells in
Oh,
Africa.
absolutely.
White initials.
yeah. White initials. But did you see recently what she posted?
I did.
She posted on her Instagram, and it was like a picture of the Kardashians, and she was like, if they
yes.
were Black, everybody would be calling them ghetto.
And that they're a
That's
family
true.
of baby mamas.
And they're
Family of
family
baby mamas.
All facts.
Period. She's not wrong. But she's very much demonized. She gave them like they swagger jacked the shit out of her, and they were friends with her. And a girl took her whole ass father of her child, she was 17 or 18 at the time.
Yeah.
It was fine.
He wins.
Yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. Wow,
That
what a
was
time.
that
to
was
be
a good
alive.
time. And then she did that alley-oop and then took Rob or whatever.
That
Yeah,
made him
like
depressed.
woo.
She's like, you'll never get rid of me. I'll see you for the next 18 years.
She was like, I'm gonna be Black China Kardashian. You bitch.
It's amazing. So well played.
So
Oh
well
my
played.
God.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, we stand you because you are really like a jack of all trades, which we love about you. Like the bio is like, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this too. The accolades are crazy. And we're really inspired by like your career. And we just want to know, like, you've created your own path. Like, how did you go about doing this? When did you decide, like, oh, I don't just have to stay at Vogue and like do this for the rest of my life, or I don't just have to stay in this one lane? Like, how did you decide to break the mold?
I really appreciate you guys saying that a lot. I didn't ever think about it like that. I just felt like in 2017 when I left, I was pretty burnt out, emotionally, physically, mentally, creatively. I had nothing left to give. I was writing like multiple, like, I mean, if you've ever written for an online publication, it's like a content farm. So you're just like writing and writing and writing. And I fell out of love with writing, and I like lost a lot of confidence that I had when I initially came into the role. And I just felt like I could spread my wings and like go. I had absolutely no plan. And I really did flounder for such a long time. I didn't want to write anymore. I didn't want to do anything to do with content or SEO or any of that shit. And that really was a difficult road. But I just remember, like, my friend asked me to write a piece for Glamour about all of the September covers. Do you remember that? It was like every Black woman was on a September cover. It was unprecedented.
Yeah.
And I wrote an article about that. I remember the reception felt like, this is why you do it, because writing's like very a lonely sport. You know, you're writing into like and, you know, alone in a room, and you don't know what's going to happen. So it can be very lonely. And then when you have people respond to it, that's like the really beautiful part of it. And so after that article, I was like, okay, I just need to keep doing this. I need to keep doing the things that light me up, and keep doing the things that make an impact. And that had always been at the forefront of my work, but I just had that burnout. And I just started etching my way towards that. I was like, okay, I'm going to do talk at Dumbo House. I'm gonna, do a bunch more freelance writing. I'm gonna do consulting. I'm gonna, I'm gonna keep doing all these things. And I went back in house. I mean, I think for me, I'm not a 401k girl at the end of the day. Like, I really am much more a person who's likes being in control of their time and their focus. And so I don't know. I think gradually as I started to build things outside of this idea of a title, I had much more confidence. So if I did get a title, it didn't bear the same weight as previously, like, and I kind of get into this thing of thinking of like, you need me, I don't need you kind of thing. So and that's a lot of, that can be a lot for people. But I think that's what kind of guides me in doing what I want to do and like forging ahead and just continuing to pursue my stuff.
Do you ever look at yourself as having like a destination, or are you continuing to just do things that fuel you along the way?
That's a really good question. I know exactly what I want, but I'm sure as an Aries, I will want more after I achieve this.
Of course.
And I like that because it's a challenge. And I think if you're a woman who wants to lead a life that's a little more outside, like, left of center, you're going to, it's going to be a journey. I mean, all life is a journey, but it's going to be different, and it's not going to be so linear, which can be frustrating, but also really exciting too. Yes. So I like that excitement of different challenges. And so I wouldn't say I necessarily have a destination, but there are some things that I would love to achieve.
I love 401k girl. Can we like coin that? I am a 401k girl.
Yeah. Respect.
You know what I mean? But like, I also get it. And Glenn, we've talked about this in the past, through kind of like, whatever, I'm airing out all your existential crises on the show. I'm sorry. That's what friends are for. Where I think we were talking about this, and you had this moment where you were like, I am a creator or something. There was like a term that you used, but like you had been trying to like put yourself in these boxes of like, I am a teacher and I am a writer and I am a this. And then one day you were like, I just create. Like I
mean, well, because you asked me like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm alive. Like, I'm doing the things that I want to do when they come to me. I'm doing the things that I'm inspired by as I continue. And so that's why I asked you that question, because for me, I don't think that I have like a destination really, because I don't want to really even box myself into having like an end goal. Like there, and very much so Sag fire energy, like there's can always be more. More. Although some people have told me like that my insatiable need for more might end up being my downfall, but I don't know.
Some people.
That's dark.
Yeah, but I think that's just like a way to like put you in your place. And you don't have to listen to people.
Yeah, exactly.
I know who said it. So
you're gonna assume who said it. A young man.
Was it a boy? Okay.
Oh, I mean, then there you go. I think that a lot of I think men putting women in their place and negging women is something that's just like, it's a criminal act, and it happens far too much. And we start to like second guess ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And you're just like, oh, well, maybe he's right. But then it's like, no, he's not right. He's just intimidated.
Boom. Straight like that.
You know, that's how I look at it.
I hear that.
Something else, when your last birthday, you posted something like so honest in the realm of this conversation about like success and what your life looks like, or like the kinds of like, I guess, timestamps we put on our lives, like when we should achieve certain things by. And you were referencing like how Tina Turner like found success like later in life. I don't know, could you just share more about that with our listeners who didn't see your post? I thought it was so profound.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I think about that so much, because I think our culture, especially right now, we're so obsessed with youth, and God bless them. They do amazing things. And I don't know what it's like to be 16 2021 during a panty, but they're very enterprising. They're very creative, but that's not the only narrative. And I think that we only get one particular image. It's like you have to have everything achieved by the time you're 21. And that's ridiculous, you know, because then what happens after that? And like, I just find that, you know, people think that life just stops. And I'm like, no, there's so many acts to your life. There's a second act, a third act, whatever. And I just tried to get myself out of this thinking because I was turning 38. And I was like, am I where I want to be necessarily? No, but I'm definitely like getting closer to the woman that I want to become. And I think that's really cool. I don't want to be 21.
No,
you know,
thank you.
So the 20s are trash in retrospect, or like important, but like the 30s get better. We're about to enter our 30s.
Oh my gosh. Listen, like it's such a great time. Like it's such a really, really great time. And look at where you guys are now already. Like that's beautiful praise. Like imagine where you'll be in like 10 years from now. Like that's really exciting as well. So like all like praises to you. But I found that I definitely came more into who I was in my 30s, and I had more confidence in who I was. And there's just so many different acts. And I think that, you know, like Tina Turner, Tracee Ellis Ross, women like that, we need to see more women like that. Gabrielle Union, women who are older, who are still thriving and interesting and fun and inspiring and like, and a part of the discourse, if not driving it. That's what I think is really, really rich too. You know, it's like, yeah, I could be 48 and like be on your mood board, you know, or I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be an 18-year-old who's like the arbiter. So I think there has to be more of that. We have to normalize like just life after a certain age where it's still thriving. It's still fun. It's still so, because also to think, I'm sorry, I'm about to get really
take us there.
Sociological, but you have to think about it in the sense of like, we're of a new generation of women who are financially independent, more so than our mothers. And we can make other choices in our lives. And that's really cool because we don't have to get married. We don't have to have a baby. We don't have to do all these types of things because we're creating our own careers and all that type of stuff. That's really exciting. That doesn't mean that having a kid or you know, making a family isn't exciting either. I'm just saying that like, there are a lot more options for women. And I think that needs to be discussed more and like shown more and celebrated. So that was kind of like what I was riffing on.
Yeah, 100%.
I had this like, and I constantly go through this existential crisis. I was actually talking to my therapist about it, and she was like, what are you tweaking about? Like, you're 28, sit the fuck down, basically. But I find that Sex and the City is so inspirational to me to rewatch because of the point that you made around these acts in your life. And I look at those women and I'm like, oh my God, like Charlotte thought she had it all figured out, and then she was with Trey and that was a fucking disaster. And like then she met this man that she never thought that she would be with, and you know, like Miranda, and like all their different experiences were just like, granted through the lens of white women, but whatever.
I was gonna make that point.
Yeah,
let me live. Let me fucking live through the lens of these white women. But it's just like, oh, this is not so cut and dry. Like, it doesn't have to be by 20 something I'm locked down, and by this age I'm having the babies, and by this age I'm doing this. Like, it literally can be so much more. Like, you can literally make it what you want it to be. And that's
isn't that so exciting? It starts to feel like freedom, right?
Yeah.
Look at the years ahead, like there's so many possibilities. I don't have to be where I am right now. I could totally change my life. Like, how cool is that?
I think that's really, really cool. And I think, I mean, Sex and the City continues to stay relevant. I know it's kind of sad because it's right. It was so white and it was so undiverse. But it was those universal kernels of truth. Yeah. I'm like, God dang, like, how did they do that?
And
they're
New
still
York.
so relevant.
So
Yeah.
relevant. They
Yeah, I
really
mean, I
kind of
love that
nailed
show.
it.
And I mean, I do, Chelsea, I know how you feel, but this is why I stand Bennifer. I think it's fucking
Why
This is
don't
a
you
iconic.
great
like Jennifer?
example of what you're saying, though. This makes sense.
I'm not really the biggest fan of J-Lo in general. I think she's
Oh,
a
she's-
culture.
Yeah.
I love Chelsea. You, I like your takes. I really do. I think
hot take.
I know. I really do.
They never agree with me, but whatever.
No, that I like that. I like that you guys don't always agree. I don't think you need to. And I like that you're kind of like, no. You're like,
Here's the thing. I have a
She's
select group of culture vultures that I give a pass. Ariana Grande, sleeves. She's
We
also in
love
there.
Ari.
She's a
Please.
problem. I will be at her concert in the crowd with the 13-year-old
long
white
sleeves
woman with
on,
long sleeves.
just like
and
her.
I don't give
long
a fuck.
sleeves.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
With the hair
We went and we wore oversized hoodies that covered our fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All the runs. I saw
Yeah.
her in concert. She was good.
She's great.
She's an icon. I don't care.
I just love her. But yeah, to your point, it is interesting how Bennifer has found themselves back with one another later in life after a lot of things have gone down. Ben Affleck looks like he has lived a lot of life and not in a good way.
Do you think this is forever?
No, it's a
don't.
season.
Oh, you
I
don't?
think-
You think another one's
No, I think she's just living her
for
best
life?
life.
And people are so inclined to come for her for all of her different chapters with these men. And I kind of think it's kind of cool.
If she were a
has
man, no one would
kids.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
She, you know,
They wouldn't give a fuck. I mean,
she's
seriously.
good.
I kind of, you know, who also is like that. It's like Rita Ora. She's dated everybody.
She's in a three-way now.
I know.
the
I find
throuple.
this fascinating.
I'm like, who are she? And she's dated like no, like she's not someone who we think we look to
Nope.
as like a cultural heroine. I don't think in America she reads like that at all.
Does she read like that even in the UK?
I don't know, but
No.
she is.
I'm
with-
Glenn.
Maybe.
I don't know about that.
But she gets with powerful people, and I'm
Yeah.
like, she must have some game.
1000%. She has, like, you can see it in the way she moves. Like, you know, I don't think about her often, but when I see her, I'm like, oh, interesting.
She's
Swaggy. She got
She's got an
swag.
appeal.
I guess so.
Yeah.
She's got an appeal. I'm looking forward to the chapters in my life. I have said this many times. I'm convinced I might have 3 marriages, and I'm okay with that. But I think I will pull a Kourtney Kardashian and just have one baby daddy.
Okay.
Just for consistency.
Right.
Just to keep it
Just so,
consistent.
like, so that people are not confused.
obsessed.
It's a little easier.
I am
I'm
the
obsessed.
child of all types of many different marriages. So all my siblings were all, you know, somebody got a little of this, somebody got a little of that. And it's always like, oh yeah,
a friend like that.
that's because of his mom. Or that's because I just want it to be, y'all are just all fucked up. It's consistent across the board.
You all look alike.
We all look alike. And now we're on your stepdaddy's yacht. Just keep it pushing. Let's go.
Now we're on Travis Barker's yacht. Where the fuck
Right.
is
Actually,
going
Kourtney has
on?
done the same thing. She's had a nice little run.
She's a
you
good
know?
40-year-old who's just like living her life. I feel like you're gonna find that you'll be economically super independent and like more secure, and like you will be making some interesting decisions. You might be forming a family, but you might be creating another form of it too, which I think is really cool.
I want to get in your business a little bit, but
What's
like
up?
thinking about like marriage, is that something that you've wanted? You said at the beginning that you were like, you put rules out, like that
yeah.
this type of relationship is different than the ones you had in the past.
And we listened to your favorite auntie, so we got a little intel.
I see you up
We
in
got
there,
intel.
Do I want to get married? I would love to get married. I'd love to have children. It was so funny. I was in LA recently, and so was my brother, incidentally. We didn't plan it, but he was there with his family. And I was like, oh, well, why don't you come by the hotel? They have a pool, the kids can play. My niece and nephew are 8 and 4. So they came to the hotel and they were acting like New York kids in a pool.
Mhm.
So they were losing their damn minds.
Yes.
Okay. And I was just like so overwhelmed. I was like, oh my gosh, and I think he could see it in my eyes. And he just leaned over to me and he said, you know what, Marjon, I want you to do one big thing in your life. And then I want you to have a kid. Because if you don't get that thing done and then you have kids and it takes you longer to get to where you want to go, you might start resenting yourself and possibly your kids. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like, okay, and so he's like,
poolside.
Poolside.
Poolside. Realness.
So he was like, finish your book proposal and have a baby. And I was like, all right. And I just feel like I would like to have one last hot girl summer. And then I would like to have a child.
Yes.
With my man.
With uncle.
With uncle.
I mean,
it would be nice. He doesn't believe me. He's like, girl, you are out here in these streets all the goddamn time. And I'm like, no, I promise.
Like, I'm dead ass.
Yeah, that sounds. We had quite a Memorial Day weekend over here at my residence, and I was like, "Yo, imagine you had to wake up and care for a child."
Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
I mean, obviously, you wouldn't be, we wouldn't have a drug-filled weekend of like shenanigans, or you could have staff.
No, I would. But they would be like at the other house.
You could have staff. This is true.
I would imagine have a nanny.
That wasn't accessible, and you had to wake up and like care for a whole other human. I could barely care for myself. It was getting really rough.
I think about that too. I'm like, damn, I know people that have kids right now. How the fuck are they doing it? I couldn't imagine having a kid in the type of life that I live right now.
Do it. Just like our parents did it. Just
I know.
Their parents did it. You just do it.
You do. I'm just acknowledging that it's hard ass work.
You would be okay. Like if a baby came into your uterus right now and you pushed it out, you would do it and you'd be good at it. It would just happen.
Correct. I mean,
I appreciate your faith.
I agree with Chelsea because there's no right time necessarily to have a kid.
No one's ever ready.
I know. It's just like, I want to have a house. Like there's just like these things that you want to have, but it's true. But like shit happens.
Listen, the finances have to be ready because I like my shoes and bags, and then I gotta buy you shit. Get out of here. Go somewhere.
I do too. I think about that stuff a lot too, because I would spend all of my money on my child's clothes. I'd just be like, let's just buy you a whole new collection each season, and I want you to like, what are we going for? What are we doing?
I look at the season.
It'd be a whole mess.
I don't know why a She by Sheree kids line just came into my brain.
The adult line still has.
Okay, but I have questions. What is baby Kylie about to be giving? They just brand everything. Yes. What? Baby Kylie. That's a new thing.
Excuse me?
Baby Kylie.
I know what you meant.
Kylie Baby.
I was like, I didn't know what you meant.
Kylie Baby is a new brand.
That young lady is making kids' clothes?
Baby.
She's going to be a bajillionaire.
Yeah, she is.
I don't even know what to say to that. I mean,
how do you know about this stuff, Glenn? You don't ever know anything.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. It happened to pop up. I was on the Black Girls Text on Instagram. That's why. Because y'all followed all the people.
It keeps you
Kylie Baby. And to me, it's just giving like Gen X mom. Like, is that going to be the aesthetic?
She's going to make bread.
She's going to make mad bread. She's going to be a billionaire and a half.
Yeah.
Off of that. That is just, and it's just like Black China said, if Black women did that,
it's just, it's so interesting.
We'd never be considered good
aspirational.
Mom.
It's going to be like baby crop tops.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be like Gen X baby clothes.
And like
I don't think it's
flare
Gen X.
pants.
I think you keep messing up the Gen thing.
Gen Z? Gen Z, I'm sorry. Gen Z.
Yeah, I was like, Gen X.
I'm old as hell. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Flint, you're
probably
I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that.
I'm like, you're a millennial.
I'm dead.
Millennial has started to sound like a bad word now. Like when people say millennial, it sounds like a dirty word.
Why do you think that is?
I think Gen Z is a dirty word.
Ooh.
That means you're old. Because you think the younger kids are a dirty word. Everyone thinks the one under them is like my sisters was like millennials, and I'm like, what do you think my mom said about you, Gen Xers?
Ooh.
Wait, what's the word that they're calling millennials now? Like it's a word for being like an old millennial. Have you guys not heard this?
I've heard about that. What is that?
Chuggy?
No. What?
Yeah, no, I heard about that too.
You haven't heard of the term chuggy?
Never heard of this.
chuggy?
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is where I help you all understand white
It sounds
culture.
white as hell.
White
Yeah.
culture.
White culture. Chuggy is when you do something that's like very like corny. It's like farmhouse design, like when people have those signs in their bathroom decals that are like love.
Oh.
Like that's chuggy.
Yes.
What?
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Damn,
it's
I can't remember.
associated with like millennials, but like these Midwestern millennial moms, they do a lot of chuggy things. I think a pumpkin spice latte might be chuggy.
That sounds
So,
about
that,
right.
so
like
is that
basic.
not basic? Yeah, it's like it's not basic.
essentially. But I think it's like
People
particular
that have like
to
live,
our
laugh, love
generation.
on their wall. Like
Yes.
that type of thing.
Chuggy. Listen, my
C'est la
infinity,
vie.
my bitch, all my tattoos are
Oh,
chuggy.
damn. Damn, you are.
What are your tattoos?
C'est la
I told
vie.
Say La Vie tattoo, and I have a
Is
infinity symbol, chuggy.
She has an infinity symbol that she
Wow.
got with her friend that she's no longer friends with.
Yeah.
In my defense,
I have it too.
hers
We're
is a
not
little
all
bit
friends.
different.
And
Ours
someone
are
else too.
a different iteration.
Oh,
Mine's terrible.
I remember that.
I
it
have like a
says bliss.
timestamp. What's yours?
Yours
says-
is just mine says bliss. It says bliss.
Y'all, these wow. Okay.
I have no tattoos.
Okay. Well,
Well, are you surprised?
Marjon's like, duh.
I'm like my Capricorn friend over
Right,
here.
exactly.
She's like, I have no tattoos.
Wait, what's your tattoo? You said you have a tramp stamp?
I have like a little. I have a star.
I have a star.
On your lower back?
Cute.
Okay, so the crazy thing is when I was 15, I was going with, you know how you have those friends whose like moms let them do whatever they want?
Yes.
So I had a friend whose mom was like that, and she was gonna take us to get tattoos. And I was
That's not
White?
okay.
White?
I know my mom cussed her out.
Was she a white woman?
No, Puerto
This is
Rican.
Delilah. This
Delilah's
is
mom.
The Delilah.
Delilah's
I was
mom.
like, oh, I think you're supposed to say Delilah's spirit. I was like, oh my god.
I mean, anyway, so I was gonna get a tattoo on my lower back that said "Never look back."
No, you weren't.
Yes,
You're a
and I
fucking
called,
liar.
I called my big sister, and my sister was
dead.
like, "If you do that, I will kill you first, and then mom will kill you after.
Yeah.
Do not do that." And I didn't do it.
Thank God.
That's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
If I had that,
Like,
I
never
would
look back,
kill the
tramp
shit.
stamp. Oh, I would have a
Never
lot of
look
fun with
back.
that.
That's mad sexual to me.
That's hella sexual. Were you thinking about it in that way?
I was a virgin.
So
No,
You didn't even
I just
know.
was like,
You should
never
just put
look
some
back,
eyes
never
underneath.
look
That's what the
back.
girls do. They put like eyes on their back, little like eyes. Also, I remember the term geriatric millennial is what they're calling us.
Oh, I was
That's
like geriatric pregnancy or something.
Yeah,
That's weird.
No.
calling people geriatric millennials, Glenn.
that's what they're calling us online. Geriatric millennials.
That's what
That's
they're calling
what I
us
am.
online.
Look, I sound like a geriatric millennial.
Like, who is they?
Like, what is qualify? Is that because you wear skinny jeans?
Right, the skinny
Okay.
jeans thing.
And you do a side part.
right instead of a middle.
Right.
And you just like know certain things. You've seen certain things come out. I don't know, whatever.
Are you like
Geriatric.
excited about a friends reunion? or something
Exactly.
Like that? Okay,
That's a
got you.
geriatric millennial.
Wait,
thing.
Okay.
That's
did you all
chuggy.
watch the
No,
Friends
I
reunion?
I have not.
No,
Did
I
you?
don't watch that program.
You did?
Chelsea, did you?
I've seen every episode of Friends.
Chelsea, don't say
By the way.
shit to me ever again.
Why did you watch that?
Excuse me, my friends are black. Just because I watched the show.
Wait,
doesn't
you
mean-
you watch Friends, Chelsea?
Don't say another fucking
I'm
word.
sure
to
You just
me.
said that you watched.
I
every
watched it though because I was in the Peace Corps with like all these white people, and like we had these like
It's a great
external
show.
hard drives. So
It
they
is
put things
not a good show.
Listen,
Every
it made
time
me feel
someone puts
normal.
that
I'm
show on,
shocked
I'm
that
like,
Chelsea
it is
watched it.
bad. It's a
Wait,
bad. It's
you
not good.
watched it? Have you watched it?
I have watched a handful of episodes. I never laugh. I'm never entertained.
Maybe you don't understand the characters yet.
Oh.
It's
Maybe the character development is just
easy
like
watching.
a
It's
little-
easy watching.
It's
No.
very easy watch. There's
You know, it's like
I mean, like I've watched Seinfeld a lot.
That is not the same thing. Seinfeld is like a very well done.
I actually don't love
Show.
Seinfeld.
I can't get into Seinfeld, but I do
Well,
love Curb. So I don't
I
know.
love Curb.
Herb and Seinfeld are in the
They're
same.
basically the same thing.
in the same
I gotta
family.
give it another go.
Friends is not even invited. They're not related. They're not. No.
Well, you know what? Billions of people would disagree with you, Sade. So talk to the hand.
I'm just shocked that Chelsea has watched Friends. It's shocking to me.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a secret.
Oh my God.
You heard it here first.
I know, Black Girls Texting reveal.
Just like that, a fucking Black girls texting reveal. Before we go, I'd love to know and have the listeners know more about your favorite auntie show, more about the inspiration, where you're going. There's a newsletter.
I'm tapped in. Can't wait.
Tap in. Let us know.
I'm excited about it. Your favorite auntie was a show that I started last year around this time, actually, which is actually kind of crazy to think about. But I started it in quarantine. I'd always wanted to do a podcast like this. I'm like, is this like your whole setup? I'm like, is this hard? Is it easy? I was always so overwhelmed and intimidated by it, but I thought maybe I would just start an IGTV show. It was more because a lot of people would hit me up and want advice. A lot of kids, I mean, they're not kids, they're just like kids. They're just younger than me who would be in the fashion industry. Were like, what did you do to do this? How did you achieve that? What, all these types of things. And I was like, you know what, why don't I just go online one night and just like talk about stuff. And I had also written an article about white women's tears. I written it in 2018 and it got recirculated, obviously because of Amy Cooper and like Allison Roman, and she looked out the window.
I can't.
I just want to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I thought I saw her on the train, and I was like, I was ready to fight.
Amy Cooper?
Yeah, I was like, she's looking real Amy-ish. And I was like, that's not her.
She has so much fucking nerve. I can't even go there.
Anyway. I don't know what I would do if I saw Amy Cooper, honestly. I think I would, I'm like you, I think I'd swing. But
I was about ready.
I think I would totally swing, but it started recirculating and a lot of people were asking me questions about it. And I was like, okay, let's just like get on live and just talk about issues. People can send me questions and I'll answer them. And it felt really good. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep this going and like create my own little world and like own little community where you come to Auntie's living room every week and like we talk about particular topics and I answer your questions on air and I give you advice. And I don't know, I don't consider myself an authority figure, but I definitely have lived. And so I thought I could offer some insight into some things that were difficult. We've talked about everything from interracial dating to career, ambition, freelance life, body issues, wellness. Tomorrow night I'm going to have Jenna Lyons on. We've had my good friend Sophia Rowe and Patia Borja and Sean Garretts and Dante Colley. And we've got some really good guests coming up the rest of the season. And I've had my good Julie Wilson on and Pam Nasser. And it's just like a good time. And it really was a way for me to connect and like get dressed up every Thursday and like do something that wasn't a job, and it felt really cathartic, I think, for everybody. And, so I hop on and I have my wine and I answer your issues. And I mean, the way that I see it now, I would love to obviously take it and expand it into a bigger platform. If it turned into a television show, that would be wonderful. I'm starting a newsletter, Notes from Auntie's Desk. And I think I'm like trying to figure out what my first topic is going to be, but I have really been looking at Naomi Osaka a lot this week. And like, she's just really like, I feel like it's a macro problem, or a micro problem that's like gone macro, like where it's just like Black women in these like all white spaces and our mental health is not being, cared for or even considered. And we always have to bend ourselves for everybody else. And no one can like make concessions for us. Mm-hmm. And it's just, everybody loses that way. you know? Like everybody fucking loses because now she's out of the French Open and we missed out on a beautiful game of
And I'm
tennis
not
and like
watching anymore.
no one's like really, and then
That's my girl.
that's our girl. And I think obviously Naomi loses the most because she doesn't get to do the things she loves.
Yeah.
And she has to, because white institutions will not like provide her space to live. So I don't know. I was thinking about writing about that for the first newsletter. If you sign up and subscribe.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
subscribed,
like
girl.
You
Just
know?
like, if we could quickly talk about that really fast,
Of
because
course.
then Venus came out and she
Oh, I can't hear you.
Ah,
I couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, we just lost you for a sec, Chels.
am I back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're back.
Okay,
starting
sorry.
on Venus.
So Venus came out and she kind of expressed like sort of a different view, a view that I think is more in line with how you would expect Black women to react. Like, I don't care what you say, like, I know I'm a bad bitch, whatever. And it's just that idea of like being strong. And I was watching, this is gonna connect, I promise. I was watching the Tulsa like thing on CNN, and when it ended, they were talking about the crazy, you know, riot, massacre, killings. And when it ended, it was like, we are so strong. We are such a strong people. And I was like, actually, sometimes I'm not that strong. Sometimes I get sad. Sometimes I can't recover as fast as I'm supposed to because I'm a Black woman, you know? So it's like that, like, I don't know if I'm making sense, but like,
No, it makes so much sense.
yeah, Naomi kind of represents honestly how I feel sometimes when I'm just like, actually, I'm sad and I can't.
Right. I
and
can't carry
be
all this right
strong
now.
today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put on this face and show up to these press conferences when I don't feel comfortable doing it and go play that game. I'm a human being. Like, it's kind of crazy, the expectations that we have over people that are supposed to entertain us. And when they show
Especially when
that
they're
they
Black.
can't do it, we're like,
especially
whoa.
when they're
Especially
Black. Because you know, I have this saying, the girls know, white women in distress, WWID. And I'm like, listen, I don't have time for this. I'm about to go into white women in distress and just have a breakdown and freak out. And when white women do this, it's normal. It's
Girl,
you are a fucking human being.
They love to say I'm suffering from exhaustion.
But their tears matter, whereas our tears
do not.
Don't.
You need to be strong. You need to figure it out. And you know what? I'm always going to be this person. I think it also starts at home. We have to do a better job of not setting these expectations for ourselves, not feeling as though we have to, you know, come on, Glenn, go in.
No, I'm saying
you're right.
We need to stop creating these environments, and you know, even down to our parents, the way in which we were brought up. I understand that it was because that was all they knew, but I think our generation is really kind of normalizing expressing emotion, expressing that you're not okay, like being open and honest about that, and that not being a sign of weakness. So I go into a WWID real quick. I'd be like, I just can't do it.
Good for you.
Don't you take like personal health days? I've never done that in my life.
I take personal. I'm about to take one next week because I need to go to Dumbo House and lay by the pool. So,
and you deserve. It's so true thinking about what you said about like our mothers. Like my mom talks about it all the time, that she did not like set a realistic or like a healthy example for me or something to aspire to, because all I saw her do was just work like a crazy person. And it just, I don't know. Yeah.
I also think that, yes. And I think that our parents were like, and, you know, like, yeah, the world is racist and crazy. And what does that mean? Does that mean you don't get your lesson? Does that mean you don't go get a good job or get your degree? Like, you keep going. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, but I'm traumatized. I'm really traumatized by the racism that I've endured. I know that you are too. Like, because you talk to me, my parents are both retired now, but like my mom used to talk to me about her white coworkers all the time. And I'm like, these women are driving you insane, woman. I know that, you know? Like,
I think about what I deal with, but at least now, like they know, like the ethos is a little different. Like the world is different. Can you imagine being in corporate, like back then.
Yeah, and it's just openly racist and accepted.
Openly.
Yeah,
Openly.
I don't want to only put the onus on us though. As much as I do think it starts at home, other people also need to recognize, like, yes, we're superheroes, but like that has nothing to do with you.
Just like it has something to do with you. And if you really care about Black women or women of color, or, then show us.
Black women.
What's that?
We said it's okay to say Black women.
I just didn't. I'm
about
not
to be like,
no,
don't get
okay.
them fucking started on the BIPOC.
No, I capitalized B. Like, come on.
Yes,
I
we do.
Okay.
I've been capitalizing it before they made it in the you know, that thing, Miriam, in the
Miriam's website.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying though. I think so often it's like we're drawn into something, we're specifically speaking about Black women's issues, and I think that if you think that you care about Black women, then like you should listen to them, and when they say that they're upset or they say that they need help or support or whatever, listen to them, because otherwise if you're just like kind of using them to make your space seem more diverse or more inclusive or intersectional or whatever the fuck you want to say, you're really just exploiting them. And that Naomi Osaka is a very good example of that. When you say no and white people get mad, it's because they're mad because we won't let them exploit us. So you know what I'm saying? So I really that is not on us. It is on white institutions and people who are a year later reflecting on what happened to really
Put up my black square. What's happening? It didn't
in the time that has passed.
anything.
And the gag is the commissioner or whatever it's called refuses to talk to press about the whole situation.
So he's allowed to refuse to talk to the fucking press.
Yeah, because at this point it's like now he looks crazy. You have a teenager who is, I don't know how old she is, but she's dealing with something, and you're just like, oh well, you owe us $15,000. Like, anyway.
That's bullshit.
But we really want you to come back on. Seriously,
I know we can talk to you forever.
We can talk to you forever. We have a segment called "What Would You Do," where we get like advice letters, and I feel like we should do a whole episode. Like,
agreed.
That's such
Auntie's
a good idea.
advice.
Auntie's advice.
Yeah, no, bring it on. Listen, you guys can come. You guys are in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not, but I'm close.
Oh shit.
It's in New York.
I'm in New York.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, you guys can always just like come over. I feel like you're down the street, Glenn.
I know. I think we might be neighbors.
Are you on Bainbridge?
I'm on Decatur.
Beat that out.
Hold on, wait.
This will get edited.
And don't leave me out, Glenn and Sade. Since
I
I've been to Manhattan.
I know. We were like, you live in Brooklyn. We're like, yeah, but you have the soul of Brooklyn.
I know. I totally forgot, Chelsea, to be honest. You're still gang. Yeah, let's do like a neighborhood drink or something.
I'm totally down. You know I'm down to drink wine. So.
Yeah. Oh, we have an event if you're in town at Dumbo House with us
next Monday, wine tasting. Black Somme. You're away.
I am. I'm going home to see my family for the first time in like whoever knows, like 20 years.
That'll be
That's so special.
Really nice. It'll be really, really nice. But I don't know if we're still recording, but I was like, do I still have a membership in Dumbo House? Like, I didn't know. And I like emailed them. I was like, am I still allowed in?
No, I really
go. You scan that little thing. It's like,
no, bitch.
Oh my gosh. No, we have to do something. We really must. And yeah, you have to come back because you started saying interracial dating, and I was like, oh my God, you are in a whole ass.
I had questions about that too.
Relationship.
Also, maybe we do a live event together at Dumbo House. Just throwing that out there.
I would love to.
Time.
I'm definitely down for that.
And
think
we could have a little box where people write questions if they want advice on.
It'd be this kind of like crossover.
Yes.
Real cute thing.
Yes.
No, yes. It's like when, you know, like girlfriends would do an episode with like
exactly
with
half and
two-
half.
Yeah,
I just made that up, but like, yeah, exactly.
I'm like, they did that?
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm
But they would
like,
do
that's what she's
those.
saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like sister, and
Right.
like Steve Harvey, and you're like, yeah. Like, let's
Exactly.
do one of those mashups.
The worlds collide.
Okay, I do have to
Do the clip.
exit you. So,
Okay.
thank you, Marjon, so much for joining us.
Thank
Such
you.
an amazing conversation. You are always welcome back. We have much more to do, but can you tell the people where to find you and how to stay tapped in?
Tapped in. You can watch your favorite auntie show every Thursday, 7 p.m. It's live. Sometimes it's on my account at Marjon_Carlos, and sometimes it's on at your favorite auntie show. You can follow me at either one. We have a newsletter now, Substack. I don't know if that's problematic, but it's I definitely have a newsletter now. Notes from Auntie's Desk. And yeah, I'm www.marjoncarlos.com. Yes.
Period.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank you
guys.
so
Have
much.
a wonderful day, rest of the evening.
All right.
Okay, this week's What Would You Do If Your Man Was at Home or if your son was on the floor? And he didn't get lunch. Okay, so it says, Dear BGT, I love your podcast. I listen every Wednesday morning, except for the few times when you all upload late.
I was finna
That
say
was shady and sassy.
Wednesday morning.
That.
Wednesday
Wow,
morning.
the sassy emails. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you have a what would you do, email us at hello@blackgirlstexting.com. Okay, my boyfriend's ex hit me up and said she wants to link woman to woman to talk to me about some things. For for a
Woman
little
to
back.
woman cracks me up. Sorry.
Okay. For a little background and context, she and I have been exchanging really aggressive texts and DMs.
Oh, no.
She once texted me, if she sees me, it's on sight. She claims she still messes with him. He denies it. But things between the girl and I have never been positive and have never been good. She's now saying that she's grown up and is mature and over the situation and wants to talk to me woman to woman. Should I meet up with her? She's trying to jump you.
Yo, she said it was on site.
Like, no,
She-
girl.
I think
Fuck
she
her.
meant it. Do not meet up with her. No.
Or bring a
Mm-mm.
knife or blade.
Don't
your
meet
mouth.
up with her, and also you might need to break up with your boyfriend.
That's my
Sorry.
next step because it sounds like it's a mess and I just don't really know who to believe. And I just don't like it. It sounds like baggage. And I would just get out of the whole situation, to be
Break up
honest.
with your
But
boyfriend.
I will say I've had crazy exes that lie.
But how
You know
long
what
is she
I'm
going to
saying?
be around with her shit? Tell the nigga to call her ass
Yeah,
and handle it.
Right.
it's
Meet
handled.
up. Yeah, actually, I was going to say meet up with him. No, they cannot meet up. A phone call. And you could be
Or
sitting right there.
file a restraining order.
Oh Lord, you could just block. You could just block this person. Just block, IG, mute, block, hide, whatever you got to do. But I would definitely be like looking at your man a little sideways
Mhm.
for the little comments. I don't like that.
I've also realized that although I don't bangs with police, if you are threatening me and telling me you're gonna beat me up on site, best believe I'm calling the police on you. So try it if you want to. You're gonna have a record.
Yeah, no, she just sounds like she's doing a lot. What else is there to discuss?
But it also seems like you've engaged. So like, what's going on?
Right. Like, girl, why can she even DM you? Block her.
Back and
Why can
forth.
she even yeah.
That shouldn't be happening.
I bet this is a young listener. Because I've definitely had experiences like this.
And I wonder what your boyfriend would say if he knew that you were entertaining meeting up with her. Because, part of me and my messy side of the brain is like, I wonder what she has to say. But like,
Right. I feel like Glenn would be like, okay, woman to woman.
I know, like I'm intrigued. It's like I just like
Do it for
kind
the
of want
story.
to know.
Let's
It's,
meet
like,
up at
definitely a do it for the
Saragina.
story. Exactly. Just a quick
Then
drink.
by the end, you're
and
like,
then it turns
she's
into
actually
a
kinda
whole
nice.
dinner. Exactly. And we're like vibing and shit. Yeah.
Let's do this
But
again.
it's like not it's not a good look though to entertain
No.
that.
We don't need the
Conversation with her.
toxicity.
I just feel
Yeah.
like it's physically dangerous. Like, what if she comes with like 20 of her cousins? People be crazy.
What if she was like, anything you can say in front of me, you could say in front of my man. And she brought him. They could go sit together and look like happily coupled up. She wouldn't say
No,
shit.
no.
Well, then if I were the ex, I
no.
would fight her because
No.
that's
Yeah. What?
that's
But I
too
also
much.
don't understand like what is the point? Like, what is there to converse about? Like, we are not friends. We're not going to be friends.
That's what I'm
There's-
saying. So say it in
you
front of
don't-
me and my man. What do you have to say?
No, there's nothing to say.
Right. We're not
Right.
friends. We have no
We've
relationship.
moved past you
It's
saying
nothing
you
to
want to jump
salvage.
me. Are you coming to apologize for your threats?
You can
Right.
say that.
Apologize in my DM.
You could do that in a voice note, a voicemail. Yeah, DM. You can send me a card.
You could
A
send me a
bouquet.
cash app saying I'm
You
sorry.
can send me a cash app for my troubles, for my
That's
therapy.
the solution. Tell her, girl, it's no bad blood. Just send me a cash app so I know it's real.
I like that.
Ah, that's so good. Not so I know it's real.
Yeah.
If you hit her with that, she might feel like she really has to do it.
Exactly. And if she's really sorry, then she should. Okay. Again, email us at hello@blackgirlstexting if you have some advice that you would like to procure. Our Instagram is our Instagram is Black Girls Texting. Our Twitter is Black Girls Text 1. We still have merch. Get it before it sells out.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot merch.
Get you a little hat.
Sweatshirts.
Put your bonnet under the hat.
Yes. Or you can get a phone case. Look at us peddling our products.
Products.
Listen, we just can't have Zuckerberg in the 1%.
Right. Also, we have a Patreon. So there's a Patreon for this episode too, where we actually talk unfiltered. There's no fucks being bleeped. There's no.
I was
That
like, is she
probably
gonna
bleeped.
say it? Oh my God. Oh yes, this one we talk about Chelsea's favorite person,
Uncle.
Kevin Samuels.
Stop saying that to people. He's not my favorite person. Literally, this is what I mean with the black and white culture we have. He's not my favorite person. I just can understand some things that the man is saying. What's wrong with that? Anyways,
It's just too funny.
um,
my
but I would say though,
gosh.
the Patreon is really heating up. The good is happening over there. So
yeah.
y'all gonna
Also,
wanna
literally,
tap in.
guys, share. Like liking our stuff on Instagram is nice and we appreciate it. Commenting is nicer.
Mhm.
Sharing, that's really nice.
That's real nice.
5-star ratings and comments are real nice.
We love to see it. And when we say to get the Patreon and that it's the good, it's like you got some extra oxtail gravy. You feel me? Like it's still good. You still getting some good stuff here, but you want the extra gravy, you know? So go get it.
Exactly. Okay. Love you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.